Hello everyone, and welcome to today's edition of the Hillbilly Files. I'm Leo, and I will be your humble host today. Today we are in Pike County, Kentucky, just outside of a little town called Zebulon, on a little place called Frozen Creek. How cool is that? That's a cool name, isn't it? But check out this view. Check this out. Look where we're at. I mean, other than the power line going through here and, you know, the graveyard itself, this place right here hasn't really changed much in the last 100 million years or so. It is absolutely beautiful. Like I said, it's March 23rd, 2023, and as you can see, trees starting to green up a little bit. Summer starting to, well, spring starting to kick in just a little bit. We've got some vegetation growing again. So I'm glad to see that. I'm not out in the rain and the freezing cold today, and it looks like I don't even have to crawl through briars today, so yay. I'm used to, you know, if y'all been watching the channel for a while, any of you been watching for a while, you know I seem to end up in some really hairy predicaments, we'll just say, in thorn bushes and all kinds of stuff in the rain and the freezing cold. So I'm liking today. This is a good day to be out on the trail, and that's exactly what we're doing. We are out on the hunt for some obscure history. The story we're after today is probably one of the most, if not the most, colorful character from the Hatfield-McCoy feud. Like I said, we'll walk up here and I'll show you around a little bit, kind of show you the place. He wasn't the meanest. Cap Hatfield held that distinction, and he probably wasn't the toughest. Devil Anse himself was probably the toughest, but of the whole feud, I mean, you know, he was a Hatfield, not a McCoy. We're here for McCoy today. We're here for, his name is Sam McCoy. They called him Squirrel Hunting Sam. To say that Squirrel Hunting Sam was a little bit quirky is a pretty big understatement. It's kind of like saying that a nuclear bomb goes boom. To say that Sam was a little on the quirky side is, like I said, that's a pretty big understatement. But anyhow, he is right over here, and I want to show you some stuff. Now there is a discrepancy about his life, his death, but right here he is. This is Sam McCoy. Everyone, meet Sam McCoy. Sam, this is everyone else. And you can see he was born, his headstone, I should say, his headstone clearly says May 8th, 1862 to April 18th, 1941. And there is a little bit of a discrepancy about that, but that's, you know, that's sort of irrelevant. That's not really why we're here. I just wanted to kind of tell you guys a little bit about this guy, and I've wanted to do this story for a while. Sam, they called him Squirrel Hunting Sam, and you know, I kind of considered myself back in the day to be I was a fairly good squirrel hunter, and it's not as easy as you'd think. But I gave it up. To be honest, I don't like squirrel. If you've ever had squirrel, you know that it doesn't matter how you cook it, it's still a piece of rubber, you know, like meaty rubber. Squirrel is terrible, so you know, don't even bother. But they're extremely fast, and they're very, very small. So you know, if you're considered to be a good squirrel hunter, it's a pretty safe bet that you're a pretty good marksman. Now, I consider myself to be a pretty good marksman myself. You know, I sight my stuff in using little red Coke bottle lids. So like I said, I consider myself to be a fairly good marksman. Nothing like Sam. Now, Sam, he was a direct descendant of William McCoy, who was an early pioneer in Pike County, Kentucky. Squirrel Hunting Sam was Randall McCoy's nephew, the patriarch of the McCoys, and Sam was his nephew. He was involved in obviously he was involved in the Hatfield-McCoy feud. Now Sam, he was married 3 or 4 times. We're not 100% on that. But Sam, Squirrel Hunting Sam, he played a key role in the escalation of violence, I should say, of the Hatfield-McCoy feud. Known locally for his prowess as a squirrel hunter, you know, from where he got his nickname, Sam was, by all accounts, an epic outdoorsman and an awesome marksman, claiming to have killed 38,000 squirrels with one rifle and 40,000 with another one. And now, like I said, you know, when you get to squirrel hunting, there's a difference. You know, with a rifle, you're hunting from a distance. With a shotgun, you're up close. You're doing what's called a snapshot, and you just flick it off your shoulder real quick, lead the squirrel, and bam, you know, it's dinner time. But with a rifle is a little bit different. You're at a distance with a rifle. But anyhow, everyone who knew Sam, they all found him to be a little bit on the strange side. You know what I mean? He would neglect work, things that he really needed to do. He would neglect his family in favor of long hours out hunting squirrels. You know, he just loved to be, you know, I can get that, you know, love to be out in the woods. But, you know, anyway, I can get that. Legend has it that while Randolph McCoy would threaten the Hatfields for their thieving ways, it was some of his sons and nephews who brought the real brutality to the quarrel. It was late spring of 1879. Squirrel Hunting Sam McCoy and his brother, Paris McCoy, were tending a hillside cornfield, which was along the West Virginia side of the Kentucky River, or the Tug River, sorry. About then, Bill Staton rode his horse up and along the property line. Words were said, and Sam and Paris, they dropped their tools and ran toward him and attacked him. They attacked Bill Staton. Most believe that Bill Staton was the one that was actually looking for trouble that morning, simply because, you know, he approached them, not the other way around. That he most likely, you know, I wasn't there, but most likely was bad-mouthing and cussing the McCoys, you know, over one thing or another. You know how it's a feud. But whatever the reason, Squirrel Hunting Sam and Paris, they were ready for a fight. Sam, he jumps over a split rail fence and grabbed the leather bridle on Bill Staton's horse, while Paris jumped the fence and grabs Bill Staton and jerks him off of his horse. As Bill Staton, according to, you know, court documents, Bill Staton shrieked as he hit the hard ground with a thud. The two men, Bill and Paris, locked horns. A violent fist fight ensued. Both men literally spit, tumbled on the ground, cussed, and fought each other for a long time. When all of the sudden, several booming gunshots were fired. By the end of the bloody fight, billowing blue-gray gun smoke lingered over the hillsides. Paris had been shot and had a flesh wound. Even so, he was also cut, hurting, exhausted, and covered with bright red blood. Staton, on the other hand, had been gunshot. He was laying absolutely still. He was dead. As legend has it, the McCoys quickly hid Staton's body with loose dirt and leaves and twigs in a wooded thicket nearby. Once they figured he was well hidden, the two left the scene and washed the blood off in the Tug River. They headed on to the old McCoy home place. It was a primitive cabin located nearby on the Kentucky side of the river. It was there that female members of the McCoy clan helped Paris and took care of his wounds and that sort of thing. As the body of Bill Staton was later discovered by his kinfolk, Ellison Hatfield, the brother of Devalance Hatfield, and the brother-in-law of Bill Staton, he takes charge in leading the posse that would hunt down and capture Sam and Paris. After a difficult arrest, Ellison and the small band took the McCoys, tied up with heavy rope, to local authorities at the Logan County seat. The men faced murder charges. A trial was later held, and from that point on, there were dark times ahead for both families. Some records say that he died in jail of unknown causes. A few more discrepancies. Unfortunately, we seem to find, as we go along these, doing these stories, we find a lot of historical mistakes, a lot of inaccuracies, and you guys have seen them, in a lot of our videos, and pretty much on every story we do. But you just kind of roll with it. You put the real information out there, and where it can be seen, and realistically speaking, that's about the best you can do. But anyway, Sam, he had about 11 children. We're not 100% sure on that, but he had about 11 children. Paris is buried in the Montgomery Cemetery in Kentucky with his immediate family. He died at 63 of tuberculosis of the bowels. Something similar, we hadn't heard of this before this, but we looked it up, and it's sort of similar to Crohn's disease is what killed Paris. But anyway, like I said, Sam, can you just imagine this guy's life? He was, like I said, he was one of the most unique characters in the entire feud. And the others, they all hold certain distinctions for this and that, and their participation, what they did in the feud, that sort of thing. But Sam was a very colorful character outside of the feud. Everyone who knew him thought that he was a little bit odd. You know what I mean? He was kind of strange. He just really wanted to be squirrel hunting, He just loved it, I guess. He just wanted to be out in the woods, enjoying nature and living life, that kind of thing. Of course, back in the day, things were a little bit different. These days, well, quite frankly, a lot of people think meat comes from Walmart, comes from the grocery store. You and I know better. You and I know where meat comes from. And back in the day, you didn't go to the grocery store to buy this, to buy meat. You went out and you hunted what you needed. You hunted the squirrel, turkey, rabbits, whatever, whatever the situation came along. That's dinner. Simple as that. But anyway, we're going to take a look around. I just wanted to bring you guys over here and show you this. And we're going to take a quick peek around. It's not a really big cemetery, but man, it sure is a beautiful one. Check out that view. I can see still yet a little bit of mist over on the mountaintops over there through the trees. You won't see that much longer once everything gets all greened up. See, another month from now, this place will look totally different. But they're still, you can see they're still using this cemetery here. Which that one, oh, somebody's just filled it in. It was sunken. This one's from this is John A. Smith, 1896 to 1948. And whoever takes care of this cemetery is obviously doing a much better job than some of the other ones that we visit. But, and it's just, this is way, guys. I kid you not. We are way out in the middle of nowhere. I drove a pretty good ways to get here from the house, and you go up a holler to another holler to another holler, and then you get to Frozen Creek, and then you go up that holler. And then when you get to the end of the Frozen Creek, you come up this little hill right here. I had a time finding this place. This was a tough one, but we managed to find it. But anyway, Sam McCoy, guys. Thought y'all'd enjoy that. But we'll look around just a little bit and, you know, kind of get a lay of the land. Just look around. Here's another. I spotted this as soon as I came up. And we've seen these at several of the other Hatfield McCoy grave sites. This is a geocache. And like I said, I've mentioned this in other videos. There's normally, this one doesn't have one. You don't want to mess with these, you know, too much. There's a jar inside there, and you know, you just leave a little something. It could be any little thing, a little tidbit of plastic, whatever you have in your pocket, and just a sort of a little memento of your visit. But these here, you want to be careful of these things because bees. I've mentioned this before, and this one here, you can see there's none on it right now because of, you know, we're just coming out of the cold weather. But if you look in there, I don't know if you can see this, there's a wasp nest right in the top of this thing, and they will absolutely eat you up if you mess with them at the wrong time. But you can see, I don't know how well you can see in there, it's pretty dark, but it looks like about 1/3 of the box. Okay, maybe not quite that much, but whatever. It's a big old nest. It's a big bee nest, but just bolted right onto the tree. But anyhow, like I said, it's very pretty little place, just out in the country. Like I said, in the middle of nowhere, back on a mountain. Very peaceful. This looks like a newer one here. Yeah. Sharon Ann Reed Everett, 1955 to 2022. Rest well, Sharon. There's a few over here. Quentin Little. Quentin Little, 1942 to 2010. And Phyllis G. Little, 1957 to no date. So I'm hoping, you know, she's still around. Ravens Ridge. How cool does that sound? Private property out through there. It's called Ravens Ridge. That's cool, then. Bobby Jack Collins. Mary Elizabeth Collins, and it has her nickname in parentheses, Mary Berry. I like that. It's cute. Beloved daughter. It's a cute name. Oh, this is a child, y'all. It's October 15th of 93 to November 1st of 93. Got, looks like a couple military graves up here. One is, y'all know, anytime we see military, we always stop to mention them, you know, mention their contribution. But this is Gladys Carroll Conway, born 1945, November 26th. It doesn't have a death date. And this, excuse me, is Bert A. Conway, Corporal, U.S. Marine Corps, Korea, 1934 to 1996. A few things I did want to mention. you know, while we're talking, I want to say thanks. First of all, our YouTube channel, we just crossed, I think, 2.5 million views. And with a little bit of luck, you know, assuming the last videos of the month do okay, we may actually hit 1 million views this month. I think when I looked last night, we were at like 7.4. And I mean, wow, we didn't see that coming. But thank you guys. Thank you very much for watching. We very much appreciate you guys. You're the reasons we do it. You know, you're the ones we're making the videos for, so we're very glad that you guys like it. You know, we're very pleased by it. Thank you very much. But anyway, one of the other things I did want to mention, you know, was comments, questions, that sort of thing. We're kind of getting to the point, you know, it's just Heather and I, it's just the two of us. And we do our very best to try and answer all questions, you know, all real questions, you know. What color was Devil Ance's shoes? You know, I mean, you know, really, come on. But we try to answer all legitimate questions, and we do read all of our comments. To be honest, we've tried to answer them. Heather and I have sat down together, and you know, me on one and her on one system computer and her on another one, and try to keep up with the comments, but we still fall behind. So just know, guys, if you know, we appreciate you. If we don't answer a comment, just know that we do appreciate you. We do read them, and we appreciate you guys watching. And all the questions that we get, we will continue to try and answer, you know, all legit questions, you know, as long as we're doing it. You know, we'll do our best to try and, you know, try and do you guys right. You know what I mean? Another thing I wanted to mention was, you guys will get a kick out of this. You'll find this one kind of funny. YouTube has this thing. It's called YouTube Analytics. I just wanted to mention this, you know, to you guys. You'll probably get a kick out of this. YouTube has this thing called YouTube Analytics, and it shows how many views in your last 48 hours. It's just a simple bar graph, just as simple as that. But with the algorithm that YouTube uses, we can sit there and literally watch the entire world wake up in the morning. I see you guys, when y'all get up, you start watching the videos about 7, about 9, you know, Eastern, some reason. That's when pretty much everybody heads off to work, and it drops for a minute. When you guys get to work, it picks back up. So, you know, we know y'all watching our videos at work, but don't worry, your secret is safe with us. We won't tell your boss. You're cool. But I just thought it was kind of cool. You know, I thought I'd tell y'all about that you know, it's just wild that with this one little, the way YouTube's algorithm works, with just this little one little bar graph, that's all it is. I mean, you can watch the entire world get up and go to work and go to lunch and come back home in the evening, and after dinner it'll pick back up, and it's just wild, you know, to watch that kind of stuff. And you know, I just thought I would tell you guys that it's, you know, watching all this kind of thing, to me, it's kind of, it's addictive. You know, I love coming out here and doing these videos and showing you guys. I mean, you know, my God, look at this. This is what I'm out here looking at today, you know? So trust me, yeah, I'm loving this. I'm having a great time here. But, you know, I just thought I would tell you guys, you know, about that. I thought that was interesting. Anyway, all right. Just wanted to, like I said, just a couple things I wanted to mention real quick. The frogs over there. How cool is that? You can just hear them going crazy over there. There's a big mud puddle. You can hear all the frogs just croaking away. They're happy about this warm weather too. William P. Daniels, 1862 to 1936. And step over here. Pretty one. Mary Bell Daniels, 1873 to 1931. This is Dewey Daniels, 1903 to 1924. Pretty stone. Carving on it. And there's Sam. It's John Smith. We looked at that one just a minute ago. Look at this. How pretty is that? Cleo Smith. Or no. C-E-O-W. I'm not sure how that's pronounced. 1862 to 1919. So some of these are in fact pretty old graves. This one, another mid-18. This is E.T. Smith, 1865 to 1940. Just as World War II was getting going good. Osa S. Johnson, March 6, 1900 to April 19th, 1994. Pretty bench. This is Lassie C. Thacker, 1913 to 1952. And there's a picture of her as well. And these are the two Thackers I just showed you a minute ago. Ollie Thacker, 1944 to 2000, wife and mother. And Michael R. Thacker, 1969 to 1991, son. Okay. Well, guys, I've enjoyed our little time together today. Get out a little bit, out in the pretty weather. Beautiful, beautiful day. Glad winter's gone. I hope it hurt. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you if you've stuck around this long. We love you. Coming. You guys have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching. And we'll see you next time on the Hillbilly Files.